What the hell? Why? Why? Jesus Christ. Why would they make a game so unfair? But I've done it. By God, I've done it. But at what cost? I'll be right back. God, it's awful. It's time to die. Because that's what this game expects of you. Oh my God. Plain and simple, this game is brutal, unfair, and insanely hard. The name of it is Yu-Gi-Oh! Reshef of Destruction. It's the hit 2004 game sequel to Yu-Gi-Oh! The Sacred Cards. And the Sacred Cards was a really easy game, relatively speaking. So for this to just be absolutely soul-crushing level of difficulty spike is insane for a sequel. To put in perspective, a good comparison I think to put would be, imagine playing something like Lego Lord of the Rings, or just a Lego game in general, and they were like, what should we make a canonical sequel to follow up this game? Dark Souls. Literally, like, it doesn't even compare. I would rather play Dark Souls as an easier game than play this. I would rather play Call of Duty World at War on Veteran than play this game, because at least I feel somewhat competent and in control of half the game. Not here. Not in this game. This game will literally look you dead in the eyes, and in the very first fight, that isn't Tristan, just absolutely clap your cheeks like no tomorrow. You do not stand a chance in this game. I'm sorry. I'm emotional ranting right now. It's how it had to be. I just finally beat this game after 16 years. I played this game when it came out on the Game Boy Advanced, and just how I didn't break that system at the time, and I still have it. How I didn't break it is absolutely beyond me, because I wanted to do it now. How I didn't break it now is beyond me. I have just developed the patience of a saint, apparently, because it just doesn't make any sense to me. This game just, oh my God, it makes me so angry. So angry and so defeated. I think it's like, oh, it just hits you with absolute depression, and pure red is all you see. I go blue, red, sad boy, mad boy. Oh my God. Just everything aside, don't play this game. Whatever I say, if you get convinced even a little bit, don't play this game. I'm just going to talk about it. Oh, just there's so many things to break down with why this game is so ball-crushingly brutal and difficult to actually beat. The number one thing is the deck you start with. Oh my God. Anybody that's played Yu-Gi-Oh! Proper, ever, you even looked at the game, you'd imagine like what normal attacks and typing and stuff kind of does overall. Pretty simple. It's got a core foundation that's basic to follow. In this, you start with monsters and garbage cards that are like 500 attack. The starting people you fight against have like 800 or 900. It's literally borderline impossible to actually win without a huge chunk of luck. To play this game throughout the entire thing is so RNG based on what you draw that not even the heart of the cards is going to get your ass through this game. You are literally going to get beat down and retrying. It's literally live, die, repeat, but with children's playing cards. You can go buy new cards with the money you get from the absolute like loose change that falls out of people's pockets. But the card shop, all the cards are so expensive. Good fucking luck. And on top of that, they make a deck capacity based on your level of how much you've grinded and just continuously dueled people, that by the end of the game, I think it maxes out at like 9999 four times, but I roughly had like 2000 as my capacity by the end, and it probably should have been a lot higher, but I just made the absolute perfect deck possible thanks to a spreadsheet that I got online. I'm not even gonna lie, you need pretty much an Excel spreadsheet to tell you all of the shit you need to know in this game on the technical side. The best cards cost like 300 of that capacity out of 2000 endgame. One card, you need at least 40 in your deck. So you're not going to be using good cards. You have to use garbage cards. And then when you do have those couple good expensive ones in there, you got to be lucky enough to draw them, otherwise you lose. The only way I think you can logically beat this game, and I almost guarantee that you cannot beat this game without this next bit, is that the typing in this game is more important than I think I've ever seen in the game itself, ever. I'm sure there's a lot of complexities because I'm just casual when it comes to Yu-Gi-Oh! In general, but the typing in this it's a must, and it's still so brutal. It's kind of like Pokemon, except in this, the attack, damage, and defense doesn't apply if the typing advantage or disadvantage comes into play. So say like there's a water type, if you hit it with an electric type, even if the electric type is way weaker, I mean like literally can have no attack, and the water one has 3000 or something, it will kill it, but there's no battle damage unless the thing killing it is stronger just straight up. Then there's no battle damage, but it still destroys it, and that completely changes the flow of the game. The problem with these typings is they are nearly impossible to just remember off the top of your head. Kid me, get fucked. There's no way I was ever gonna know about that. I would literally just guess. I would just attack blindly and hope it was the right typing, because even when you know all the typings, sure, okay, there's the water to fire, and then there's electric to water, but let's read them off. So you have Dream beats Dark. Super obvious, I know. Dark beats Light. I kind of feel like it would be the other way around, but whatever. Light beats Fiend. Okay, logical. Still, there's between those six alone, how do you differentiate those half the time to remember that? Fiend beats Dream. Duh. Earth beats Thunder. Thunder beats Water. Water beats Fire. Fire beats Forest. Forest beats Wind. And Wind beats Earth. Wind beats Earth. What? I mean, like slow erosion over 100 years? Like, what? Some of these are logical that you'll remember, like, without even trying, but most of them, there's no way. There's no way. If anybody says that this chart is easy to remember, fuck you. There's no way. I mean, I praise your giant brain. By the end of the game, I was still questioning sometimes what the typing proper was. You get pretty damn good at it, but I'll be damned if I didn't have the chart sitting off to the side the entire time I played, just in case I got that lucky RNG pool and I had a good starting hand and I had the field rolling to have even a sliver of a chance to beat some of these bosses, because that's what this game is. It's a boss gauntlet. You're just constantly fighting bosses because every single person can take you out before they even blink. And you have 8,000 life points in this game, but then there's the next kicker of why this game is just blow after blow. Just internal bleeding is I have to be just like ready to go to an ER right now. The life points after every duel do not restore for you. So you have that 8,000, and unless you go back to your house and you take a nice little siesta, they don't restore. And a majority of this game is a gauntlet. So you will have to fight somebody, and then another person will show up before you can do anything, and then another person will show up, and then another person will show up, usually in 3s or 4s. In the early game, that doesn't happen too much, so you can keep running back, but once you get halfway through at least, maybe earlier than that, it's always like that. And if you beat 3 of them and then the 4th one beats you, you got to beat all 4 again. You got to do all of them in one row, like just one streak. Even if it's highly story dependent and like a huge plot and cutscene happens and everything, if there were battles up to that before that, too bad. Redo it. You might not have good RNG, so you'll probably lose to the first one this time or the second or third one, and you got to do all of them. It is just so painful. Oh my god, it genuinely feels like an accomplishment to even beat this game. I feel like I've truly ascended. I've become a man. It's put hair on my... Okay, well, we're still waiting on that one, but point aside. And while on the topic of life points, since yours don't restore, most people have 8,000 as well. Okay, fair enough. Kind of. By the end of the game, a lot of the main villains and bosses have 10,000, 20,000. By the time the end, the final fight is only two people. First one has 20,000. Okay, that's a ton, but it's manageable, I guess. The final boss, after there's no save point after that 20,000 one, and it's literally the second hardest person in the game. 40,000. 40,000. I had terrible RNG for, oh my god, it had to be like 30 attempts at the minimum. And I got so lucky on the first one almost every time. Like probably like 75% of the time I absolutely clapped the first one. And then the second one I would just have terrible luck. It is so hard because you need to get lucky on both of them. You have to get the best cards. You have to make sure you have the best deck already built. And then you have to hope that that deck still provides the best pools to be able to beat the hardest enemies in the game. And it's so ridiculous that I even got lucky. When I finally got lucky and pulled the best card, and pretty much this game focuses on getting the 3 god cards, but just Ra really is the only actually broken card in the game. It's the best card in the game. You have to put a code in to get, not a cheat code, but like you go to the card shop and put a code in, as that's how you kind of get other cards that if you just know the codes, you can put them in and it'll put them in the shops, because the shop doesn't always sell the cards you need. It's all random. But you have to do this because the card won't show up at all in the game. So you get the normal Winged Dragon of Ra God card, and then you put the code in, and then you go have a dialogue in a different part of the world, and it gives you a card that you can just discard and it auto summons it. That card is just absolutely overpowered, and it has to be, because it's really the only chance you have of beating this game reasonably without just grinding until like just the next year has passed you by. Like, it actually just takes forever. That aside, I beat the final boss not by taking out all of his life points, but I finally got set up, but by building a brick fucking wall and just stalling him until he ran out of cards. Literally like the destroyer of the world, just taking over souls and just brewing darkness and crushing people worldwide. And he crumbles and gets destroyed because he's drawing cards and he's out. He's out. I love it. That is the most climactic way. And if you care about spoilers, really, like, this game's plot is mediocre at best anyway. This game kills off Pegasus. Yes, Yugi Boy Pegasus. He's basically the not main villain because he uses an alias, different name, but it's totally him. He just gets killed off right at the end. It's brutal. I mean, I respect that. That's probably one of the coolest parts, that they even had the balls to do that, but final little nitpicks about the game that aren't as brutal but more just nuisances is this game is slow. There is, every time you lay a card, there's probably a 1 second time of a cursor that goes over the screen and scans the entire field. Every time you do anything, you breathe and it does the fucking cursor. That takes at least a second, and every single time, just, oh my god, it's so slow. And if a card has an effect, you'll want to kill yourself right on the site right there, because it has to read the effect every single time there's any blip of a card being placed or a second motion or anything. Literally anything. Those two things alone make a game that already takes forever because of grinding, because of just crazy RNG and difficulty, that it's so bad. Also, everybody is a complete asshole in this game. I mean, like, legitimately, everybody just like spits on the ground you walk on, and it's just like a dick for no reason. Or they're super manipulative and just having you do fetch quests and telling you what to do. By the end, they try to do the whole power of friendship and the heart of the cards crap, but like, everyone's just so mean to you outside of like the main cast, like your buddies. But you talk to a random person on the street just passing them, and they're just like, what do you want? This game is heavily RNG dependent. You gotta have skill to beat it too, but if you're not ready, when that RNG and that lucky hand or draw comes up and you can't properly play it and you make a blunder or a wrong move, even if you're lucky and you don't have the just mindset of this, that this game breaks into you, you'll lose. Every single time. It will not hesitate to absolutely school you. There is no breathing room at all. You have to be ready for this game. If you do play this game, do not say I didn't warn you. You have been completely warned. If you are just an absolute masochist, teach their own. I personally just wanted to beat this game because of losing so many times as a kid, getting probably halfway through the game, and only because of massive grinding, because during your childhood you can just sit there and just slave away the same task like just like a machine. But here I just needed to beat it, so I did a lot of grinding, but not nearly as much as I probably would have as a kid. I just did the bare minimum to beat this game. This turned into a rant, so I apologize if it got a little lengthy. But if you're still here, I greatly appreciate it, and I love you. Seriously. Oh my god. Beautiful. Beautiful. Make sure to hit that like button if you have enjoyed this video. This is definitely just absolute, just seething rage on the inside. If I haven't seemed angry, it's just because it's internalized. I'm just suppressing it until it blows up into the wrong person. Otherwise, that's really all I have for you today. Subscribe. I greatly appreciate it. It goes a long way. You have no idea, or maybe you do. Otherwise, have a great rest of your day, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace!